So if you want to work from anywhere in the world, but you don't want to be stick to your laptop, then you have to pay attention to this because a lot of solopreneurs, they try to build the nomad, digital nomad lifestyle, etc. But in the end, they end up sticking towards a laptop every single day, every single place they go to. And they try to become location independent, but every single place they go to, they're always running with anxiety because in their minds, they're thinking on their business. They're never really off. They're never really cut from the work, or they're not even focused on what they're doing because they're thinking they need to reply an email, they need to do a live call, they need to attend their calendar, they need to do a call with someone, they need to check stuff. So ideally, what you want to do is avoid that lifestyle. So you're not working from somewhere like a cafe and glued to Slack, or you're not calling yourself a freedom builder if you are basically collapsing because you're thinking on what I need to post next, who I need to talk to, etc. Right? That doesn't make sense. So ideally, what you want to try to do is build a business where you can run it from anywhere, but when you decide to cut off, when you decide to put away, when you decide to unplug everything, you can literally detach yourself from the business and go do whatever you want to do and focus on being present with that person, with your family, with the loved one that you want to spend time with, right? Because again, being tied to the laptop does not make sense. Now, if this is you, you want to read this slowly, okay? Because you don't want to be part of that hustle mindset. And again, there's a lot of people I admire within the industry and I learn from, but I can see their perspective is totally wrong because they only think about hustle, 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 run after your ego. You have to compete with your peers. You have to be better than them. I want to be the greatest. I want to be the biggest. I want to be the smartest. I want to be the one that has more zeros in my bank account. And you're like, for what? For what? Because if you fill all your egos as maximum capacity as you can, in the end, you die, you go with nothing. And people forget about you within the next 2, 3 days. They don't even go to your funeral. They don't give a damn about you. So logically, if you want to build a business, you want to build a business that fulfills you. And the only business that fulfills you is a business that you can build, that is self-sustaining, and you can step away from and still produces the income while you're not there. That is the business you want to build. And most online business aren't built like that. They're not designed for freedom. They're designed for you to constantly be there, constantly push content, constantly drive trends, constantly be the center of attention. And which is the worst thing you want to do in this century where a lot of attention is being distracted, or a lot of attention is being abstract from you, from your family, by scrolling and doing a lot of bunch of BS, right? So what you want to do is you want to structure your business in order for you to have time freedom, location freedom, and income freedom. A lot of people, 6 figure, 7 figure earner, talk about this, but they themselves don't have it, and they pride themselves on that, like as if it's a great achievement. Well, it's the most stupidest thing ever. It's like an addict priding themselves that they can get high. Meanwhile, they don't understand the more high they get, the more addicted they get, and the more addicted they get, the more they spiral into destruction. They don't understand that. And that is the stupidest thing. And if you do not see that, you end up doing the same. And I've talked to a lot of coaches, consultants, solopreneurs out there that they've built their business based on what coaches have told them, consultants have told them, gurus have told them, and in the end, they build a business they don't want to be part of. Why? Because it's chaotic, they have a lot to do, a lot on their plate, they want to grow, 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 hire a lot of people, and this and that and that, and now they're thinking, oh, let me just fire everyone and replace with AI. But then they're seeing, oh, AI has a lot of tech background, like you need to be tech savvy, AI is not in their voice, cannot be them because it doesn't transmit emotion, all those things, or spontaneousness. And then they're depressed. They don't know what to do. Okay, so be smart. Don't fall for this trap of trying to build something that you constantly are on the rat race, you're getting from a 9 to 5 rat race to fall into a 9 to 5 hamster wheel. Why? Because you're going from just a cubicle format, physical format, to a digital format cubicle. Like, it makes no sense. Okay, so if you want to build a business for freedom, you have to implement a structure that gives you that freedom. It cannot be you cannot be thinking about doing something for freedom and then implementing a system that requires you to fulfill manually every single time. Okay, so if you want to do that, it's totally awesome. It's your choice. But if you want to be wise, you have to do it this way. Okay, so client calls, if they're across time zones, daily content, if it's for you to still visible, the revenue disappears the moment you log off. Any of those things, stay away from. Okay, that's not a business, as it says here. It's a remote job that you have to constantly be doing for someone. It's like you're working for the algorithm or you're working for the platform. It does not make sense. Okay, so for you to have a nomad business that basically sells your skill, sells your expertise, sells your high ticket mentorship, whatever you want to sell, basically your course, your cohort, etc., it has to have structure. If it lacks structure, you're not going to be able to do it, and it's going to give you chaos. Chaos is things going to make you depressed. Is the things that are going to make you do take unnecessary decisions, which you're going to not need to. And if you're trying to fill your ego by competing with people about your car, your house, the thing that you have, your watch, um, any place, exotic place you're traveling every week or something, bro, you're just putting yourself. You're basically digging your own grave, okay, by competing with people because you want to fill your ego, right? So for you to be smart about it and build a business again that gives you time freedom, location freedom, and income freedom, you have to follow this process. And this process is about turning stranger into a consistent residual income client. And this is basically turning stranger into followers, followers into a lead into a buyer, and then a buyer into a residual client. This is the way you want to do it. And the way you want to do it is by implementing a system for each. So if it's a stranger turning into a content, for example, I'm building this content to help you understand my perspective on life and business, but then I repurpose this content into short and reels. And I have a video editor that then turns that video into a cinematography video, into a carousel, into a one image post, then turns it into a long form post, etc., right? And this probably content you can also see on LinkedIn. You will probably see it on Google business page, or you can also see it on TikTok, etc. So you can see many different formats of the same content. But I'm not doing one content per platform. For example, Harmozy did that, and he saw that, hey, that was a complete waste of time, which wasn't needed. But in their minds, it's like, yeah, I need to produce more and more and more and more. It's not about more. It's about quality. It's not about quantity. Now, the platforms ideally want quantity. But logically, if you produce quality and that quality gets repurposed, logically it becomes quantity of the same quality content. So then you don't have to produce more and more and more, but you focus on the key elements that turn that stranger into a buyer or into a residual client, right? So you're working more strategic rather than just randomly, doing stuff. Okay. With this in mind, again, if you want me to help you implement this, you can find the link below this video. I make this link available because, again, it's about helping you take the right decision to work with someone in order to build this thing rather than trying to do it yourself, or rather than pitching you a 15K program or 20K promo upfront. If you don't pay, you're not worth it, you're not man enough, and all those things. I don't do those type of things. Try to humiliate people or try to lower people towards their standards, etc., just so that I can obtain some type of income benefit. What I give you is a clear path so we can implement this so that you can start selling your idea way before building the thing. And then once you sell it, that's when you want to start building and deliver. And based on that, you upsell people into your residual client package or client coaching program, etc. And based on that, you help them repeat the process that you did, but this time you're going to do it for them in a custom manner, right? And this is how I help my clients, and I help students as well make money online by having either a 9 to 5 or not, by simply building the system, okay? Now again, if you don't have them a system, you only build one piece of it. For example, you want to turn a lead into a buyer and you only build one offer. It's fine. You can scale with one offer. That's totally fine. But keep in mind, you need that residual income to build a long-term lifestyle, right? So if you only have a buyer for a low ticket, it's not really going to help. But if you want to turn that low ticket, that like $100 ticket, into a 2K, 3K, 10K person, like a client, logically, you're going to have sufficient funds to play with once that person becomes a client. So ideally, you want to turn that buyer into a residual client. And the way you do it is by having an upsell and turning that same offer that you sold as a buyer, but now giving them a different access point. And that access point is going to be a one-to-one with you, right? So you sell them a low ticket, like a workshop, then you can sell it a mid-tier ticket, like maybe a coaching or a course, but then you can sell them a higher tier for that residual, and it may be paid like per month or paid per quarter, maybe paid per 6 months, paid per 12 months, depending on how you want to structure your program. Ideally, for example, I do mine 6 to 12 months. This way, I know if they pay like 5K, etc., it's going to be for those 6 to 12 months. I'm going to help them build, I'm going to help them monetize. And based on that, again, if they want to go in a lower tier, they can also pay me like $250 per week. And that's how we do it on a weekly basis. But if you think about it in a much more strategic manner, it's giving people options of which they can pay. And the amount they pay also show if they are serious and committed enough, all right, to work with you long term. And if you want to do that with me, you want to work with me for that length of time, hey, we can do it in the weekends. You can spend your weekend, we can work on a schedule, I can show you the outline of the entire flow of what we're going to build, how we're going to build it, exactly the same way you have to do it. And this way, again, you have someone to guide you to the process. And if you get stuck, I have the skill to be able to help you build it, because I've built it for many different clients as well. But I don't want to go to the group format, because the group format is basically a scam. It's like a classroom. No one's going to succeed. But when you have a teacher, when you have a guide from someone, like a mentor, showing you exactly what you need to do, building it with you, customized to fit your needs and wants and your clients, it's much more successful for you to go down that path, because it's a guaranteed win. Meanwhile, if you're trying to do it in comparison with a group coaching program where a bunch of people are just being thrown in a call and no one's really being attended one-on-one, bro, you're just shooting in the dark, all right? So if you want to get real help, basically fill out the form. You'll find my link below this video. I'll be able to help you. Other than that, if you want to go down this breakdown and look at how I managed to go from a waiter job to a remote work, from there also build a digital nomad lifestyle, I did that by having one skill. And that skill was being able to take the research I did and turn it into a system that turns stranger into clients. That's how I built my remote job, I would say, capability, right? Because it allowed me to be able to get a job as a contractor from anyone online in order for me to build that system. Because a lot of people don't know about tech, they don't know our marketing, and they don't know how to build systems. And because it gave me that capability and that skill level, I was able to come in a business, do some research, also assess what's going on with the business, assess what the person wants as a CEO or owner, and then from there, with them, collaborating with them, going back and forth at building the step-by-step process. And that's how they eventually start making six-figure income, because they're like, hey, I'm able to sell my 2K program, my 5K program, even 10K program sometimes, and even more, because they're skilled enough, they're smart enough, they're insightful enough to be able to understand the flow, the process, and when they explain it to their leads and clients, it's easier for them to be able to get someone to upgrade, right? So the business consists of one thing, okay? One clear avatar, one shared problem within the avatar that they are trying to target, the scalable offer, okay, something you can give access, not more, offer suites, but not different offers. I'm telling you one offer with different access. So one access might be a platform, the other access might be the platform and a one-on-one call, the other access might be one-on-one call and your private number, all those type of stuff, okay? And then it will be one acquisition channel. So you want to think, hey, where am I getting my lead that is turning into a sale? Is it through YouTube? Is it through Instagram? Is it through Facebook? Is it through Beehive? Is it somewhere else, right? And then a repeatable system. A repeatable system for myself, again, is the flywheel I use. It's a quarterly flywheel. I can change the campaign. I can create. I can duplicate. I can do whatever I want, as long as I'm filling it with different angles of the same offer, which the angle it targets is, again, on lead format, it's targeting on a problem format, it's targeting on the offer format, etc. Why? Because again, I have different ways of solving the same problem, how to monetize your audience. Again, I'm not hustling, I'm not building a lot of tools to use or using a lot of tools either. I'm not focusing on a lot of content. I'm focusing on specific content that solves one specific problem. And this is what calls leverage. Leverage is when you can put your focus and your time into one thing and then turning that one thing into multiple things, okay? And that compounds over time. It overlaps itself. Another way of saying it is like this. For example, let me give you the YouTube format that I implement. So I build this content for YouTube. This comes from my newsletter, and then I take that newsletter, turning into a LinkedIn post, turning into a Twitter thread, or turning into a post for Google Pages, and then turn this video into a cinematography video and post that on Pinterest, then goes post it on Instagram, and post it on TikTok. And from the same video, I create a carousel. I post it again on Instagram, and then from this, I also turn it into a story. And if you think about it, I'm turning into all those formats just from one video, just from one video. And this is what you call leverage, because I can do one video a week, turn it into multiple topics, multiple formats, and then schedule it out throughout the rest of the week. And if you think smart for a second, so I'm doing the work once, benefiting from it 7 times, at least, at a minimum. And from there, if I spend one day creating 2, 3, 4, 5 videos, because each video I'm thinking like between 10 to maybe 20 minutes. So if I create at least 3 videos or 4 videos within that week, think about it for a second. I have the whole entire month, and I only spend what? Maybe an hour or 2 prepping the info and then recording it. So if you think about it, that is leverage. That is the thing you need to focus on. And that is the thing I help my clients focus on. And again, I'm not trying to run after trends. I'm trying to build a sustainable system that compounds and that is easily scalable, okay? It's easily scalable. And that gives me predictable income. So when I build the system, I want, again, sales to happen without me chasing leads. And you don't see me pushing people into DM and starting chat with them and having SDRs or hiring people to do that. Are people making 6, 7 figures doing that? Yes. But do they have to build a team? Yes. Do they have to build a system? Yes. Do they have to manage a team? Yes. Do they have to hire a manager? Yes. All those things. I don't have none of those things. So I focus on the process, the system, and then implementing the system and driving traffic to it. Again, I get the traffic on a lead source, so I don't have to pursue sales, okay? I don't have to focus on building a volume of content. Income becomes more predictable. My calendar becomes more open, so I can do the stuff I want. If I want to help someone with a brick and mortar business, I can do so. If I want to take a day off, I can do so. If I don't want to do something today, I can plan it, I'll do it tomorrow, whatever, okay? And I have location freedom, so I can go wherever I want, do whatever I want, film whatever I want, and then turn that film into something I can create content on. So I'm planning on doing content different places to make it more like different background, different places, and talking about those places, etc. So I can encourage more of you guys watching the video and other people within my newsletter who also experience what it means to travel and do cool stuff. But at the same time, I'm not doing it in a pushy way. I'm not doing it because you need to buy my coaching program, etc. And I see a lot of people pushing that ideology. Like if you don't buy their program, you're not worth it, you're not serious, you're not all those things. And indeed, people that don't take action are not serious. At the same time, why do you have to say that to people in order for them to buy from you? Like, I'm thinking like, if you want to deliver value, if you want to deliver transformation, if you want to deliver change, you don't have to humiliate me, or you don't have to put me down, or you don't have to walk over me in order for me to do that. I don't find that to be legitimate. And if someone is trying to do that, I already know this person has bad intention to sell me something, right? And if that person is encouraging me to do it, and it's showing me the ways to do it, and at the same time it's telling me, hey, I'm here, if you need me, I'm able to help you, that's when I feel more motivated to do it, because I can see that genuinely that person has an interest in me. So therefore, I'm saying to you, if you are seeing that is happening to many of the videos you look at YouTube, or you're reading something online and you are seeing that, or you're aware of that, just then avoid those people so that you can focus on the things you need to do in order for you to succeed. and only hang out or only consume from the person and the individuals you know that wants the best for you, wants you to succeed, and wants to spend the time one-on-one with you in order to help you. That's the person you want to work with. And this is what will help you get to the next level, where, as it says here, you stop asking, can I work from anywhere? Can I do this by myself? Can I do this having a 9 to 5, etc.? And you start knowing, or you start acquiring the knowledge as to this business works whenever I want and however I want and the way you want it, so that you can get to the next level and then quit your 9 to 5 if you have a 9 to 5, or invest in yourself in order for you to build this so that later on you can have more leverage within your remote work or your digital nomad lifestyle. Okay, and that's the difference between mobility and freedom, because I hate to say it, a lot of digital nomads, even them that earn high 5 figures or even 6 figure, some of them don't have a life. They're stuck to the PC. No one knows about them. They're in ghost mode entire year, and it doesn't make sense because that's not life either. Life is about experiences. Life is about sharing with people, contributing, etc. And it's not just about hiding in your crib, trying to live the Batman lifestyle. Like, that doesn't make sense. Okay, so the ability to build your business across multiple countries is the ultimate goal, because you want to travel, explore the world, explore other cultures, and get to explore in the sense of being present, right? Not being stick to your PC. And if you want that lifestyle, again, I invite you to work with me so you don't get burned out. And together we are able to build your system, and a real system that gives you freedom, not something that in the end you're gonna become or build your own trap or your own, like, your own grave. Okay, so you can reply engine. That's a way you can do that, and I will reply to you, and I'll give you more details how we can do that. Other than that, if you want to start, have a head start so that you can start by your own, so that you can start implementing stuff and get things done step by step. You can also subscribe to Beehive. This is my pre-selling engine. Once you do so based on my link, just let me know. I will be able to track that, and if I track it back to you, I will be able to reach out to you, and also from there give you my overview of my system, and then you can do it by yourself. You can also do it through WAP, build your system there, and again, if I can track you that you indeed sign up through my link, I'll be more than happy to share with you what you can do in WAP in order for you to build your product over there, and then my partnership for newsletter and referral. So from there, again, I get paid every time you subscribe, and based on that, I can recommend you referrals, of which you can also implement in order for you to monetize your audience, even when you're not selling your products. Okay, so this is where you can do that. I recommend you check out the links below this video. I appreciate for watching. If you have a question, leave it in the comment section. I'll get back to you on a different video. And with that, I would leave it till here. Take care.